behind door number one? Is it the copper wrap BMW? Or is it the brand new Escalade? Or it could be the Apocalypse 6x6 custom Jeep with a 50 cal Mod Deuce strapped to the top. Listen, I like playing Halo and shooting on a moving vehicle. The question is, what makes this lifestyle? What makes this house? What makes all my world travel, living up here in the mountains? What makes all this possible? It's one word. It's business. But I got news for you. 2023 is going to be an awful year for business. It's going to put so many businesses out. There are three major reasons why. If you understand them, then number one, you might be able to avoid it, or more importantly, you should understand the kind of business moves you should be making to crush it this year.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go!
If you're a business owner or you're looking to become a business owner, you need to watch out because in 2023, a lot of businesses are going down. There are three major reasons why, and if you understand them, I want to show you how to actually crush it in business because recessions are when I win the biggest and you should too. The entrepreneur's dilemma. Small businesses account for over 12 million new jobs since 2000. However, only 55% of small businesses survive past the 5-year mark. Why do small businesses fail so often? Well, there are three major reasons today. We're going to talk about them. And if you track these businesses over an entire decade, 90% of them fail. But that's because most people are novices. They don't have mentors. They don't have people helping them out make smart decisions. Listen, you're a subscriber on my channel, which means you are financially smarter than the average bear. Let me show you the three reasons that are going to toughen you up mentally and show you how to freaking crush it in this economy. It's been said that marketing is a tax you pay for not knowing what you're doing in business. Hence, number one, ineffective marketing. In other words, what was working in the old economy ain't working in this recession. You can have the best product in the world, but if no one knows that you exist, you'll never sell enough to keep the lights on. Never underestimate the power of brand recognition. And more importantly, when I look at buying a business, which happens to be usually several a week, one of the first things that I ask is, how hard is this to market? And if it's going to be difficult to market, I'm out of it. I will take my shotgun, take that cow out back, shoot it in the head, and we done. On the other hand, you show me a business that's easy to market, guess what? That means that you could have success. No one told me that there were shortcuts to business success when I was a new entrepreneur. So like most entrepreneurs, I spent the first decade smacking this forehead against that brick wall until it was bleeding, doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. It was the definition of insanity. And I've learned some really cool hacks along the way. I'm gonna tell you that lost decade, it was totally avoidable. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you one of the easiest ways of crushing it in business. And here's a hint. It doesn't begin with starting a business from scratch. That's the hard way. That's the old way. That's the way you don't wanna go. Number two reason for businesses going under this year is poor financial management. There's inadequate cost analysis. There's poor tax strategy, insufficient running capital, inability to change with market forces, but most importantly, margin. I have a friend who runs a cabinet shop and she came to me and said, Kris, we're crying because we're dying on the vine. I said, what's going on? She says, well, the cost of materials keeps going up. And I said, well, have your prices? She says, no, we keep them the same. I said, then your margin is being squished. You do not know how to financially run the numbers of your business. When your cost of goods goes up, you need to pass that on to your customer and charge more or else you ain't gonna exist. Listen, I'm not saying you have to be a CPA or a financial expert, but there's a couple of things that you do need to know. And one of those words is margin. And when the economy shifts on you, or when we go into a recession like we are, when your costs change, you have to change your pricing model to maintain that margin, because if you don't, you are going to run out of business anyway. And if you want to know the third and probably most important reason why most businesses are going to fail, it has to do with number three, no competitive advantage. They had a competitive advantage. What they were doing made sense in the old economy, which might have only just been 6 months ago, but I got news for you. They no longer have that competitive advantage, and this is why I love recessions. I love a good recession because it births new problems. And the bigger the problem, the more money you're gonna make, but it means that you're gonna have to shift tactics. A competitive edge can come in many forms, including the right location, superior product or service, knowing your market niche, brand recognition, loyalty. All of those things are important. And when the economy shifts, you have to shift too. For example, there's a ton of people that are worried in this economy about investing in real estate. So guess where I'm putting 22% more of my efforts? Side hustles, businesses, franchises, things that answer the number one problem of a recession. cash flow. As in, Kris, I ain't making enough money. How do I make more money? My job pays me $6,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $12,000 a month. But what if I want to make 10 grand more a month? Or what if I lose my job like 165,000 people this year? How am I going to solve for cash flow? Or you might just be asking, Kris, I got my job, I'm doing okay, but I want to double my income this year the way you always talking about. How do I make more cash flow? Well, I do my market research, and in a moment, I'm going to tell you the fastest trending niche in business where people are making the most cash flow. But let's just bottom line it right now. 2023 will be bad for business because many small business lenders are facing potential bankruptcy. The US Fed indicates a 68% likelihood of a recession this year. Duh, we're in a recession. They're a little late to the party as always. And cyber attacks are on the rise, and small businesses make up 41% of attacks. 2 years ago, my bank texted me and said, "Are you sure you want to do that wire?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And someone had cyber attacked me, got my information, and had nearly convinced my bank to drain all of my bank accounts. One text saved my financial bacon. So this stuff, this is real. These problems are real, but just as real are the solutions. As in, Kris, okay then, for solving for cash flow, what's the number one thing in business that people should pay attention to? Listen, the best of both of these worlds comes in the word franchise. That means someone else created some business idea. They found that they could produce a high margin, make a lot of money. It was very marketable to the recession times. And then they started expanding their business, and they found that everyone wanted their product and everyone wanted their service, but they couldn't grow fast enough. And you know what? There's a solution how you grow faster. You take a great established model and you give the opportunity to other people and you let them keep most of the money. That word is franchise. Check it out. The one way to avoid nearly all these pitfalls is to buy an existing franchise. That way you can have the earning power and flexibility of owning a business with way less risk headed into a potential recession. So if you're solving for cash flow, financial freedom, one of the easiest ways to make it, it's called a franchise. And I'm not just talking about like restaurants. There's all sorts of franchises. In fact, I personally have 8 franchises that I'm super keen on, that I am financially backing, that I'm putting my tools and my resources behind. Because guess what? They're smart. They're hot, they make a lot of money, and they're different from what most people think they are. And if you want to know what they are, click the link below, fill out the information and say, Kris, tell me all the free good news and information about franchises that are making the most cash flow for people today. By the way, you want to know one very interesting thing that celebrities do with their money? They buy a lot of franchises, and some of them own a ton, as in hundreds. You want to know who they are? You want to know what they're doing? You want to know how they add to their financial empire? Click right here and check out celebrities buying franchises.